Hello and welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new style of video. I'm so excited to be filming this. This is going to be like a punch needle podcast. I'm going to be working on punch needle. I'm prepping for a market coming up in not this weekend, but a week from this weekend. Today is Thursday, and I'm gonna be making car coasters. Here's an example. These go into your car cup holders. I do sell them online, but obviously I'm making this inventory for the market. My website is cheerycorner.com. It's linked in the description as well. But for this video, my goal is to get 4 car coasters done, which should take me... I have such a bad concept on how long this actually takes. I'm guessing an hour. If I fly through these, I'll add some more. If I don't get through all of them and I've been talking forever, then I'll stop, but I feel like 4 will be a good amount. So I have 2 strawberries, a wave, and a ladybug. And while I'm punch needling, I'm gonna be chatting and catching up on some things. I'm gonna be answering some commonly asked questions. I asked like 7 months ago if anyone had questions because I wanted to film a Q&A, and I never filmed that Q&A. So consider that this, but I will be talking about other things in this video as well. And I quickly read through the questions and there's some good ones in there. So I'm excited to answer those. And yeah, I just kind of want to get right into this. I do have some topics I want to potentially discuss, but for the most part, I want it to feel like we're just on FaceTime and I'm chatting with a friend. So grab a beverage. I have a strawberry matcha. I mixed it with oat milk as well. And maybe a snack, a project, something you're working on. And let's have a little chat and get some work done. I also don't know what the best way to film this video would be, so bear with me. I'm thinking we'll do some clips of me talking and punch needling, and then some clips of me talking, but you're looking at the punch needle. If this goes well, and if people like this style of video, I'd be happy to make more. So yeah, we'll have to experiment and see what the best way of filming this is, but yes, let's get right into it. Okay, I feel like this is a good angle to start with and maybe do most of the video in because you can see me talking, but you can also see me working. Let's start with some updates. So I just got back from Toronto. I got back on Monday. No, I got back on Sunday. Oh my gosh, time flies. Got back on Sunday and today is Thursday. But I was there visiting Mia, whose small business is Blush Designs Co. She has currently shut down her business and she's rebranding and just working through that and figuring out what content she wants to put out. But yes, that trip was so much fun. This is only our 3rd time actually like hanging out in person. Granted, every time we hang out, it's for multiple days. She has just become one of those friends that the energy clicks so well. Like, it's hard to find friendships in your adulthood, friendships in general, let alone in your adulthood, where you just click like that and you get each other. Like, your sense of humor is the same. You share similar opinions and your outlook / perspective on things are similar, but yeah, it was just so much fun. We jammed a lot of stuff into a few days. I was there for 4 days, 2 full days, and then 2 days were like travel days. Okay, let me move this. The first day we were in Toronto, we went to Matcha. I posted a whole short form video on what we got up to if you want to check that out. And then we got sandwiches at Elfie's Sandwiches. One of the days we went to Pingle's farm and saw the most beautiful tulips ever. And we did a ton of crafting as well. We did bedazzling, we made clay items, which let me show you. I won't keep stopping to show you things, but I have to share because these are so cute. So one of the things I bedazzled is my memory card reader for when I edit. Adorable. And then I bedazzled my Laneige sleep mask, the top of it. I talked about this in the video where I was packing, that I will be reusing this lid on every sleep mask that I get in the future. Then I made these lip balm holders. One has ladybugs, one has hearts and little polka dots. These are made out of clay, polymer clay, and this is the chapstick. It just comes in and out. I also put a hole here if I want to make this into a keychain. And then I made this little desk trinket. It's a little teddy bear. I did a bear to kind of match the teddy bear coaster. So yeah, I should have put a bow on it, but I didn't. And then I also made a s'more magnet, which is hung up. I feel like there was something else I made, but making that little trinket sparked something in me, and I've made 2 since, and I am gonna keep making them because they're so fun to make and so cute, and I love just having them on my desk. This one is inspired by a jelly cat. I actually have the jelly cat. It's a little flower pot. And then this one's a little dog peeking out of a flower pot with a flower on his head. And they're just sitting on my desk. So that was really fun, doing all the crafting. And yeah, we just had really good conversation. Every time we hang out, I feel like we get closer. And we're planning on having her visit in August. So stay tuned. I might try to vlog that trip. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that. But yes, that's what I've been up to this past like week-ish, because like I said, I was there for 4 days. And I've been slowly getting back into work. It's been slow. Well, it's felt slow, but at the same time, you could argue I've been pretty productive, because yesterday I prepped everything for the strawberry punch needle kit that I want to release, and it's going to be releasing in 6 days, a week from yesterday. It's going to be releasing May 27th, so today is the 21st, and here's a little sneak peek. Not a sneak peek, this is fully the product, but it's a little strawberry. I changed it up from my strawberry design that I sold on my website, and I also changed it so that if you want to buy the strawberry, this is the one you can buy now. So the old design is no longer available, but this will be available as a DIY kit. This is a coaster if you're new here, and it's low-key going viral on Instagram right now, which is crazy. The kit's not even available, but I posted a video to promote it and market it yesterday, and it is currently at 287,000 views and 12.1 thousand likes. So that is a good sign that this kit will do well. We'll see. I didn't really mention anything about it being a DIY kit until the end of the video, so we'll see. People might have just liked to watch me punch needle, and that's why it's getting traction. So yeah, that's a little update on what I've been up to. And I talked about this in the last vlog as well, but kind of what's on the horizon. I have a market in, like I said, not this weekend, but the weekend after, May 30th. I will be filming a market prep and market day vlog. Finally, it's been so long. I'm so excited to film one of those. And then I have the trade show in August, which last night Sean and I started looking more at ideas on booth displays. And once I have my idea kind of locked in, or for the most part know what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start filming the series of prepping for that trade show, ordering supplies, getting the supplies in. I think I want it to be a 3-part series, where the first one is the planning and prep, and like probably the mock setup. I actually wrote down how I want to do it. So the first video, planning the booth, ordering supplies, getting products in, and doing a mock setup. This is my idea of how I want this to go. We'll see if this is how I'm able to execute. Video 2, I want to be packing and prepping for the trip. That could be a short video, so I might have to kind of rearrange what's in what video. And then video 3 will be the actual trade show. So that is the plan. Otherwise, it'll be a 2-part series, planning and prepping, and then packing and going. So yeah, I'm excited for that. And that's kind of that with updates. I feel like I talked more about things in the last video, but let's get into some questions. First question, how did you start your business, and was there anything that inspired you to start? So I started my business in December of 2020 / January of 2021. I say it's January 2021. I feel like that's when things were really like, okay, I have a business. I started by selling custom stickers. It was very chaotic in the sense that I was taking orders from Instagram DMs at first, and then from there, I was sending people Google Forms on Instagram DMs, or just one Google form for them to fill out for their order. So I didn't have a website, I didn't have an Etsy. I was just taking orders in any way that I knew how. Sean actually made the Google form, so kind of a funny start. And as cliche as it sounds, I started in my parents' basement. We were we were staying down there during COVID, doing online school for college. So I was a sophomore in college, yeah, and Sean was a junior. So we slept in the basement, and that's also where I had my office. It was very stuffy down there. My parents' cats stayed down there at night, and I have allergies to cats. And what was the other part of the question? Was there anything that inspired you to start? I had this urge where I was like, I just want to own a business. Like, that sounds so fun. Working for myself, like creating something from scratch and building something bigger than myself. It was just so exciting to me. And I was looking into like how businesses even come about, like the logistics of running a business. But it was mostly in the space of boutiques and like ordering things from manufacturers or ordering clothing and selling that. I don't think I was really ever going to actually sell clothing, but that's kind of where my research started in the realm of like boutiques. And then I started seeing people online who had businesses. One of the first people I saw was All Things Lillian, and I fell in love with her style and just, I don't know, it looked so joyous and so fun running a business. And she was very much into lettering at the time, which she still is, and she designs all her stuff, all her designs. But yeah, so she inspired me, and I attempted doing some lettering posts. They weren't the best thing ever. And I was just kind of having fun with Instagram and like posting on this like business Instagram. And then from there, I just kind of figured out what I actually wanted to sell, starting with the custom stickers. Actually, I was selling stickers, and one of my close friends at the time gave me the idea of doing the custom stickers, which thank you, because that really took off and I got a lot of followers from that. A couple of those videos went viral. And since doing the custom stickers, I've expanded to punch needle, DIY punch needle kits, and a whole bunch of different things. Obviously the dog and cat breed keychains and magnets and stickers, which I have a special place in my heart. Those are my favorite products. I absolutely love them. And they're so fun because I can keep expanding. Like there's so many colors and breeds of dogs and cats out there. So it's like never ending, which is a really fun thing to know, I guess, that like there's always ways to add to that collection. And I'm currently in the process of redoing a lot of those designs if you are new here, but feel free to check them out. I have over 200 designs of dogs and cats with different colors and obviously different breeds. So yeah, that I think kind of answers that question. How do you find motivation to keep your business going even when it's slow? Well, we all have a different definition of slow. I think as I've grown, my slow has become still like getting orders, if that makes sense. So like, I feel like I'm in a slow period right now because, well, now I have this video that's getting a lot of traction on Instagram, but I felt like my engagement was a little bit down. I wasn't getting as many orders as I have been all year. When I tell you everything is mindset, everything is mindset, I could think of it as slow, which I do, like it's a slower period for me. But the way I'm thinking about it right now is like businesses ebb and flow. My business is gonna ebb and flow. Just stay consistent through all of it, like with posting. My passion for what I do has never wavered, so it's easy for me to find motivation just because I love what I'm doing. So it's like self-motivating. That isn't to say that every day I wake up and I'm super motivated. I actually feel like this week I've been relatively unmotivated. I'm still working though, and like getting things done because again, I love what I do, but I'm not like always super inspired, if that makes sense. It's so hard to explain. But going back to the mindset thing, I'm thinking about it as, okay, this is my slow period that I earned because I didn't get it in January. Like a lot of people have slow periods in January, and I'm lucky enough that I can afford to have a slow period because I have other streams of income, like whether it be brand deals. That's like the biggest one. Like, yes, I have affiliate links and YouTube AdSense. Brand deals are significant right now when it comes to percentage of my income. YouTube AdSense is up there as well, but I'm not solely relying on orders, so I don't find a slow period to be stressful and discouraging, if that makes sense. I kind of can appreciate it as a time to slow down and kind of reset and get re-inspired in different ways, let my mind wander a bit more, because when I'm super busy, I'm only thinking about like what is next on the to-do list, and I feel like I don't have a lot of time to get inspired by things, if that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know if I'm explaining this well, but I guess like appreciating the slow times rather than finding them to be stressful, again, because I'm privileged enough to be in the situation where I can have that mindset because I'm not solely relying on sales. And just keeping consistent. You don't want to be forgotten. That sounds bad, but like as a business, you need to stay in front of the eyes of everyone. So keep posting on social media. Something I tell myself a lot lately. I learned this in business school. It's something like a customer needs to see the product 7 times. I don't know if 7 is the number, but I think it is, before they're going to actually buy it. So people need to see your business multiple times before they're going to buy something. That's not always the case, but that's like the average statistic, that most people need to see your business or your product a few times before they're actually going to buy it. So let that be the motivator to keep you posting on social media. And I've noticed that with myself too. Like once I've seen a product, well, it depends if it has to be a product I want, obviously. But let's say I see something for the first time. That's when I start considering if I want it. But then if I keep being reminded that the product exists, I'm going to eventually buy it probably. I don't know. I don't know if anyone else can relate. I'm sure that you can because, like I said, it's a statistic and it comes down to like human psychology. But yeah, I'm, again, going on a little tangent here, but that's okay. So how do you find motivation to keep going? Loving what I do, knowing that I'm probably going to get through the slow time because I've experienced them before. But I think the biggest thing is just because it doesn't cause me a lot of stress at this point, I'm able to flip my mindset and see it as a period to just slow down. And even if it is stressing you out, I think if you can find that mindset, that's important. Early on, when I would have slow periods, again, I feel like I was in a privileged spot where I was working part-time, which that wasn't a significant part of my income, but I was working part-time, and the first couple of years of my business, I was still in college. So I had that time to build it up a bit so that by the time I was leaving college, I had a bit more of a foundation and financial security. Okay, I had to change my camera battery, so I apologize if the angle changed a little bit, but matcha break. This is so fun. I hope you guys like this kind of video. Let me know, like I said, because I feel like this would be fun to keep doing. Okay, also I'm like a little paranoid that the mic is just gonna die or something, and I'll talk for like 20 minutes with it dead, but it's still on. Okay, next question. Oh, I had another question. How did you start your business? Which I answered. Were you working back then? Yes, I was working part-time teaching dance. I think it was like $25 an hour, maybe when I was in college, maybe closer to 20, I can't remember. And then I was working when I was in New Hampshire, once we moved to New Hampshire, teaching, and that was $30 an hour. So that was significant, but I only taught once a week. So I wasn't getting much from that job. It's like my fun job when I teach dance. That's kind of how I thought of it. So no, I wasn't working in the sense of I had a second job to compensate for what I wasn't making. Okay. Hello, Jessica. Where do you see yourself and your business in 5 years? You've truly gone from zero to being a full-time business in just a couple of years. Great work. Well, thank you. It's literally so crazy. Like, I'm aware of the hard work I've put in, like, on both of our parts, Sean and myself. We've worked our little booties off. I also, though, can recognize that with any success for anyone in this world, luck is a part of it, and for some people luck is a big part of it, and I do think luck has played a huge role in my success. So thank you, but I do want to acknowledge that as well. Where do you see your business in 5 years? That is so exciting to think about. Okay, I have some big plans, one of which I'm afraid to even talk about yet because I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get there. I kind of know how to get there, but it's like a big thing that I want to do. And honestly, by the time that I'm able to achieve that, I don't even know if I'm still going to want to do it. So I don't want to talk about that right now. How annoying of me. But I guess I'm saying that because I do have like this big goal, and it has to do with my keychains. My magnets maybe too, but it's about where I want the future of my keychains to go. But otherwise, in terms of the business, 5 years. Okay. I feel like by then, Sean and I might be pregnant by then, if I'm being honest. So with that considered, the business is gonna probably have to take a little bit of a back burner. Like, I hate to say that, but like, to be real, I feel like how could it not? Unless it's in a spot where it can be self-sustained, which that would be a lovely goal. I don't know how I would get there because I haven't thought much about that. Like what that would mean, I guess. Like, does that mean I have employees? Does it mean I have a distribution center where I'm shipping things out from? Like, that sounds crazy. But who knows? Anything could happen. But yeah, I think that's like a big factor is like, well, it depends what my life looks like, and then my business will be one way or another. But assuming I have a little baby by then, wow, that's so hard to like conceptualize where I'll be. And the reason I say that is because I feel like there's been so many things in my business that are low-key unplanned, like even with the punch needle kits that developed super organically, and now that's like a top-selling product for me, but I never sat down and planned it. It was more so that I saw the demand of people wanting to try punch needle for themselves. So I don't know, I kind of like that I don't know where it's going to be. I don't have crazy plans other than the one I am not mentioning. I think it'd be fun to do more trade shows. I haven't even done my first one yet, so we'll see how it goes. But I do want to get into more stores with my keychains. So that's a great way of doing that. So I think that would be a big one. Getting into more trade shows, doing more trade shows. They're expensive, so we'll see if I can afford to do that. I think I want to do more markets. I haven't talked to Sean much about that, but I don't know. I really miss them. I don't need to do a ton, but I think doing more markets and just keep on keeping on and see where the business takes me. Yes, I have control over the business and we'll see where I take it, but sometimes I feel like the business is making decisions for me because I don't plan things and I just ride the waves. I just want it to keep growing. I love that my products can bring joy to people. So obviously I want that to continue to be the case, which I think it will. I want to keep doing social media. As of now, I love social media. Like I don't know, it's like a hobby at this point. I love posting on Instagram. Sometimes I get into a rut, which maybe I'll talk a little bit about how I go about posting on social media. Spoiler alert, it's not super planned. I'm not a very planned person in some ways. Some ways I am. Some ways I know that if I plan things out, it's gonna make it feel like homework to me. So I like don't plan things out. Someone said, how long did it take to grow your TikTok and get sales? Well, to get sales, I was lucky enough to get them pretty early on. And this is directly correlated because I got sales from TikTok. So I had a video go viral on TikTok of me making a custom sticker, and that video alone generated like 200 orders, which was a lot. That's a lot for anyone, for anything. But for custom stickers, it took me months and months. My processing times were insane. And I made sure like my customers knew that it was going to take a while because I had so many orders. But yes, I was lucky enough to get sales right off the bat. And then it built, like I said, that foundation, and some products have sold better than others. For example, the strawberry matcha latte candle, I've only sold maybe 20 to 30 of those in person and online. But then keychains, I've sold thousands and thousands. So some things have sold better than others, and you kind of just have to figure out what sells the best in your shop and keep promoting those items. Something I will say too, though, and I was actually talking to Mia about this, is it's one thing to have an amazing product, and there's so many people with amazing products, but you have to be able to market it. Selling items, as obvious as this might sound, is all in the marketing. Know your target audience, know how to utilize trending audios and sounds, know how to create not necessarily professional content, but create an aesthetic for your brand and branding, like develop your branding and your messaging. I think that is so important and much more important than the product alone. Again, you can have an amazing product, but you have to know how to sell it. And that's a skill that you're going to develop over time. So really focus on your marketing. And for me, I just had so much fun with it at the beginning. I wasn't overthinking it. Like I look back at a lot of my marketing videos and I cringe, but I also like smile, and it's like sweet that, I don't know, I was just having so much fun with social media, and I still feel like I am. And there are times where I overthink a post, like, oh, maybe my audience doesn't want to see this, or it's too far from my usual content, but I don't know. I try not to think too much about it and just kind of, I don't know, have fun with social media, have a bit of a strategy, create your branding, and really hone in on how you want to sell your product or market your product, because that's how you're going to sell it. Also at the beginning, I did a lot of markets. So I had more in-person sales than online sales for, I want to say, the first few years. I'd say at least the first 3 years. The first year was like weird because of the custom stickers. I got a lot of online sales and I wasn't doing markets that year. But the second and third year, I'm pretty sure majority of my sales were from in-person markets. Okay, we just finished one coaster. Looking cute. This is to go with another one. I already have one and I want to make it a set for the market. So that's why I'm just doing one wave. Same thing with the ladybug, and then these two will be a set. Okay, let's move on to the strawberry and also move on to the next question, and also have a matcha break. I don't think I answered that correctly though. It says, how long did it take to grow your TikTok and get sales? So yes, I got sales right away. How long it took to grow my TikTok? It's been consistent throughout the 5 years. It's just slowly been growing. Slowly, but also exponentially. I've gotten a lot of followers from going live on TikTok. Like majority of my followers, I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty positive it's from going live on TikTok. Also because when I was live, I could see people follow me. Actually, I do know that for sure because I would go on live and then I would see the followers jump from while I was on live. So yes, going live on TikTok got me a lot of followers. For me, I've gotten a lot of followers from viral videos as well. Ooh, I like this question. Someone is asking about stocking my items. They said, how do you stock so much? How much time do you give yourself in a day, week, month? And then when you sell out, how do you make everything in time to have this as your full-time job? How much stock do you recommend for beginners? This has been such like a trial and error thing for me. I want to assume she's talking about stocking my keychains and magnets because I have a lot of stock of those. I don't have a lot of stock of punch needle goods because it takes so long and they're handmade. The stock has grown with punch needle stuff. Like I have a bag of punch needle coasters because it's left over from last year's market season. So that's why I have like a good amount, but also I could bang out a couple of sheets, like probably 32 car coasters in a week if I was like doing other things as well, not just punch needling. But sometimes I would just have to take, like, especially my old market prep videos, I would just be punch needling. Like I would literally put all my time towards making inventory. And also like something I was thinking about recently is in those days when I was just making inventory, I remember thinking, oh, it'd be so crazy to get to the point where I'm spending most of my time packing orders. Like that's the goal. And I feel like that's where I am. And it's funny because now I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm spending all my time packing orders. I need to like delegate a little bit more. And like, I can't only be doing this, but it's just crazy that I'm at that point. Like I could cry. But what even is the question? Oh, stocking things. Okay. So at first I would not stock, can you still see me? Many magnets. Oh, okay. I didn't have magnets at first. I just had keychains. And I think I would order like 20 of a design at a time. And that was a lot for me because I couldn't guarantee I would be selling 20 of every design I was ordering quickly. I basically was just buying what I could afford and justify, and I knew how things were selling. I also feel like I have a unique situation with this because I was going live on TikTok a lot and making a lot of sales of my keychains on TikTok. So I was able to justify buying a lot of product because I could assume that I would continue to sell a lot on TikTok, which is what happened. Just kind of like gauging how things are selling and predicting. Like that's a whole job that people have is, what's it called? Not predicting, forecasting, like forecasting sales and how much inventory you're gonna need. I probably sound dumb, but it's called something like that. And that is hard. And a lot of businesses, if I'm not mistaken, have formulas for that. And I don't have a formula for that. My formula is guesstimating. So it was a lot of guesstimating. And I don't know, I have a lot of stock on hand and I'm able to afford to do that because of where I'm at with my business. I wouldn't recommend having all this inventory. Like I couldn't afford to do this right off the bat. Now I'm ordering 50 to 100 of a single design. If I'm ordering a new design, like there's so many little things that go into it. If I'm ordering a new design that I just know it's not a popular breed, I won't order as many of them. But if I'm reordering like golden retrievers, I'll order 100. Because of the fact that TikTok slowed down, you would think, okay, now I'm gonna order less of something. But that's when also wholesale picked up. So it kind of like balanced each other out. If anything, wholesale made me order more of items. And I think, yeah, I would argue that I order more keychains now because of wholesale. Because with wholesale, people are ordering big quantities of a single design. That's not what was happening on TikTok. Like a single order didn't have 20 golden retriever keychains, but the volume of orders I was getting on TikTok did make it so that I could sell like 20 goldens in a week. So I just had to see what was happening with my shop and my items and predict what was going to happen in like a few weeks or a month or two. Because when I order inventory, it doesn't come in for like a month. So it's going to depend on like, yeah, how you're selling things, what your like lead time is like with your manufacturer. If you're getting things manufactured, like let's say you have a video go viral in a month or two, is that video still going to be generating sales? Like, is it worth ordering more inventory if by the time it comes in, people don't want it anymore? Like there's so many different situations that's going to make your decision on how much inventory to order different. So it's like super specific to your situation. If you're starting out though, because they asked how much would you recommend from starting out? If you're hand making it and you're doing like markets, I would make as much as you can for like your first market, but then make as much as you think is going to sell because you don't want to overwork yourself or have so much inventory on hand. If you're selling something that's a manufactured good, again, I would start small and see how it sells. And then you can predict how it's going to continue to sell and forecast future inventories. It's hard to do. I'm no expert. I have a lot of inventory on hand on some of these breeds. Okay, next question. As a fellow small business YouTuber, how do you come up with fun and engaging YouTube videos without feeling like you're putting out the same content over and over? Girl, I have not found the answer to that because I do feel like I'm putting out the same content over and over. Something I will say though is I have started to try and talk more and connect more with my audience in my videos because I want it to be more engaging and I don't want it to just feel like you're watching me do the same thing every week. So yeah, I think like talking more in my videos, talking through things, sometimes I'll get into the habit of filming things the same way and explaining things the same way. So I'm starting to try and like maybe explain something that I don't usually talk about or like offer insight to, for example, what I'm doing on the computer when instead of just saying I'm doing computer work, actually talk through what I'm doing and just trying to actively make it so that it doesn't feel like I'm putting the same thing out over and over. However, I have had people tell me like they like knowing the content I'm going to put out and like there is some familiarity and like comfort in the repetitiveness. But personally, I don't want it to be too repetitive because it's not fun to edit and I just can't imagine it's that fun to watch if it's literally the same thing every week. So I haven't necessarily found an answer, but I am experimenting with like I said, just engaging with my audience more or like talking more in videos. I'm trying to incorporate more of my personal life because that's what I like to watch. I like when there's a mix of personal life and business. And again, it switches up the content as well. And it gives you the bigger picture of what my days look like. So hope that helps. My neighbor is doing yard work. I'm hoping the mic is preventing that from being picked up though. The next question is, how do you find craft fairs to attend? So I have my business partner, Sean. His tasks are very specific. He helps me with, honestly, the tasks that I don't enjoy. He does the financial side of the business. He gathers everything for taxes. We have an accountant, but you still have to get everything together and like track everything throughout the year. He does all that. When it comes to the finances, he does like the profit first method for us and distributes money on a bi-weekly basis. But another thing he does is finds craft fairs for me. That being said, I do know how he does it. He usually at the beginning, like when we were really trying to, okay, so at this point, we know what craft fairs we like. We're not really on the hunt for new ones. If something pops up on Instagram, like a new fair that we've never done, we'll like look into it and see what it's about. We'll usually go to their Facebook. That's where a lot of organizers have most of their information and details. And we'll see like how many people attend, like what the consensus is from customers and vendors. So we're basically looking at reviews of the fair and the organizers. But yes, my answer would be Facebook. That's where we started when we were looking for markets, searching up like events coming up near you, wherever, you know, what city or town you live in. You could just do a Google search for that. And then let's say like you Google search that and you see that there's a local craft fair coming up. Then you can type in that craft fair and they'll usually have a Facebook page or a website where you can apply. But yeah, honestly, just social media and searching for like the keywords you're looking for. Events near you, craft fairs near you. Facebook though has been where we were able to find like the majority. There's a lot of Facebook groups as well. So that's kind of it for the questions. I want to take a quick break from the punch needle to talk about the sponsor of today's video, which is design.com. If you're starting a business, building a personal brand, or just want your projects to look more professional, design.com makes the entire branding process super simple. It's an AI-powered platform that helps you build logos, websites, brand assets, social graphics, and more. What I like is that the designs don't feel generic or random. Their AI pulls from design.com's huge in-house library of professionally made assets, including custom icons, fonts, and templates. So everything comes out looking polished and actually usable. All of the creative assets are produced and owned by the internal design team, which protects artists and keeps everything commercially safe to use. The process is very straightforward. You just type in a description of your brand and the AI generates branding ideas in seconds. If you want changes like swapping an icon, adjusting the colors, or changing the style, you can simply describe it and the platform updates everything for you automatically. Once you've created your logo, design.com can instantly make matching business cards, social media graphics, presentations, websites, and other marketing assets so everything stays consistent across your brand. So if you're ready to create a logo or start designing your brand, click the link in my description to try design.com today. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about how I plan content, which I don't really do, but it's less so of a plan, more of like a on a whim kind of thing. But I do have a strategy and a plan in the sense that I try to post daily. I try to post an in-feed post, meaning not just like an Instagram or a TikTok story. I don't really use TikTok stories, but in-feed posts I try to do at least once a day, sometimes a couple times a day. I don't care if it's a carousel or a reel. I'll just do one or the other. It's usually a video, and then I will cross-post the video to TikTok and to YouTube Shorts. And then I post usually multiple times a day on my Instagram stories. So that's kind of my strategy there. I don't plan the videos out usually. Usually what will happen is I'll just have an idea, like, oh, that would be fun to do as a carousel or a reel, like a day in the life. And I'll write it down, and then I can reference that when I need ideas. But mostly it's just like, okay, I should post. I sit down and I quickly think of like what I want to post that day, and then I make it happen. Sometimes it's based on a trend. Usually it's based on just an idea I have. But I will say scrolling on TikTok does help me get ideas as to what I should post. With YouTube, I post weekly, and usually it's just like days in the life, behind the scenes. Those are the most fun for me to film, but they're also the easiest because they don't require a ton of effort. I'm just kind of talking through what I'm doing. That though, I don't even set a strict upload schedule because I know myself, and I think that will cause me stress if I'm not able to meet, like, let's say I want to post on Tuesdays. If I miss a Tuesday, it's going to stress me out, and I don't know if people actually care if I'm posting on the same day. Also, now that I'm working with brands, it would make it more stressful for me to make sure the brand has approved something by the time that it needs to go up. So I just post once a week, and that's my method with YouTube. Also, I wanted to talk about working with brands. I was going to do a whole video on this. Let me know if you still want me to, but I've had a lot of people curious on like the behind the scenes with working with brands. I know I was before I worked with any, and I would have liked to see a video like this, specifically a video in this niche, the small business space. So let me talk a little bit about that, and then if you have questions, I'd be happy to answer. Also though, if you want a whole video on it, maybe I can do that. I just think it's a bit more straightforward. Like, I don't know if I have enough to say for a whole video, but let's see after I explain this. It's gonna be like 20 minutes of me talking about this. Okay, working with brands. So at the beginning, I like represented myself and would do the deals completely on my own. So I would have people reach out to me via email. I had my email in my Instagram bio and YouTube. So that's how brands would find me or find my email. And they would email, and then they would usually say like, hi, we love your content. We think that it would be a great fit for you to promote XYZ, whether it be a product or, yeah, it's usually a product or a service. At the beginning though, I wasn't getting paid. It was just gifted. So they would offer to send the product, and then in exchange, I would have some type of deliverable, whether it be a short form video or a dedicated YouTube video, which I don't do too many of those anymore unless I feel like it's gonna be a really good fit into my content. I actually have a dedicated video I'm doing in June where I'm gonna do like a junk journal video or something along those lines. But yeah, I don't do too many dedicated videos. But anyways, they will like propose the deliverables. They'll let you know like what they're offering, whether it be a gifted item or it's a paid collab. But like I said, first couple of years of me working with brands, it was just gifted, or it was like a lower rate than what I get now. So then that's kind of how it went for the whole time that I was managing myself. And then I started to get paid opportunities. I guess to walk you through the process, they would send that email. I would respond. Obviously, if I was going to do the brand deal, I would let them know and give them the necessary information, whether it be my address, usually just my address. And then obviously when I started to get paid, I would give them like my PayPal ID, or I would send them an invoice once the brand deal was complete. This is all via email. I've actually also never met with a brand virtually to discuss a brief or anything. So everything has always been virtual. They would go ahead and send me the product. I would make the video, send them the video for approval before posting it. So usually I would list it on YouTube as an unlisted video. This is still how I do it. And then send them that link. They can watch it. And then if they approve it, it goes live. If they don't approve it, I will make the change they want. You usually have to re-edit that section or refilm it, then re-export it, upload it, and then send it again for approval, do the same process. Some brands will have like in the contract, like they get 2 rounds of edits. And that's like that process that I just explained. Them making a change, you edit it, and then send it back, and they can do that for 2 rounds. But most don't. Most of my brand deals have just been approved lately, which is nice. And then this year I signed with a management company, and the reason I did that was because I was looking. I felt like I was at the point where I could get higher rates, but I didn't know how to negotiate for myself and what those rates should be. Since moving to this management, my rates have multiplied by like 4 times. I don't know whether or not it's because of the management. I would like to think that it is. I think when brands see that my email is with a management, that I think they take things a little more seriously. I could be wrong, but I think they understand like, okay, they're gonna know what her rates are and like what she actually should be charging. The reason I say I don't know if it's because of the management is because some of the brand deals I've gotten with this management, the rates are proposed initially when I get the email. So if a brand sends me an email, they already put the rate that they would pay there. So my management is not doing any further negotiation, if that makes sense. But there have been some cases where the brand emails and they don't put a rate at all, but they ask what my rates are. And that's when my management responds with the rates. And there's different things that will make the rates be higher, like exclusivity, whitelisting. I actually forget what that is. I think it has something to do with running ads maybe, but like being able to run ads on your videos, that will make your rates higher. So yeah, I kind of handed it over to management because I wanted to learn more about how it worked by literally just seeing the emails go back and forth. I'm like CC'd on everything, so I see the communication and I'm able to just get a better understanding of that world and how rates work. I say after saying I don't know what whitelisting is. Actually, let me just look it up. Hello. Influencer whitelisting is when an influencer gives a brand partner permission to run paid ads directly through the influencer's social media accounts. So I was correct. It's like the ability to run ads on the content, but through like it being posted on their account. I didn't know that part. So yeah, I'm learning a lot by being with the management. I'm very happy. I do think I can credit them to the increase in my rates. I've also been growing steadily while being with them, like on my socials, so that also will contribute to higher rates. But yeah, I'm a small creator, and seeing how much money is in this world just at the numbers I have, like as a smaller creator, is wild. But yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know what question I'm answering, but I'm not answering a question. I was just gonna talk about working with brands. So yeah, that's kind of how that works. It's pretty straightforward. Now that I have management, they handle the communication. So when I get an email, they respond, they do the negotiating, they also review the contract and make sure that it's in my favor and like, you know, legally sound. Which I didn't fully know how to do on my own either, so that's nice. And they ensure that I actually get paid at the end of the brand deal. They do the invoicing, and then they get 20% of my brand deal. So that's worth mentioning. Even after they get the 20%, I'm making more than before I was with the management. But yeah, that's a little bit about that. Something I will say though is I haven't had any brand deals while being with them that they have generated, unless I'm mistaken, but I don't think I am. So all the brand deals have come from inbound emails. So brands reaching out to me and then they take over and manage it. They do send outbound emails on my behalf, but I have not had a brand deal come from that. It's not too surprising. You're more likely to land deals that the brand has come to you because they already are showing interest. It's definitely exciting. I really didn't even consider the fact that I could be working with brands when I started sharing my business online. Okay, we have 2 like strawberries done. I still need to do the whites of them and then the white. Ooh, do I want to do a pink or a white background or cream? I'll do white. The issue with mixing up the colors is then if people order like just the default color online, I can't sell these because they're like customized in different colors. So I'm gonna do the default colors online, which is just white. Okay, what else can I talk about? I've been talking a lot. This is gonna be a long video. Hope you're enjoying. Let me know how you like this setup moving forward. Obviously I said I was gonna change the angle and I didn't, but I feel like you can see what I'm doing, you can see me, and this is good. Something I will say too on the topic of brand deals is there are a lot of quote unquote brands or companies that will reach out and it's a scam. So how to know if something's a scam? There are definitely some red flags where like the wording will be super like grammatically incorrect. That's like a huge one. If there's like a ton of emojis in the email, that's like another, a little strange, like not very professional. I honestly used to look up the brand on Reddit, especially early on when I was like, I don't even have that many followers. Like, are brands really interested in working with me? I would look up the brand on Reddit and see what people have to say about them because like a lot of times there is something to be said about it. Like, oh, this brand reached out to me. Is it a scam? Like you can find that on Reddit and get some insight there. But yeah, definitely be careful when you're managing yourself because it's up to you to figure out if something's legit or not. What else can I talk about? I've been curious, I guess, of like what you guys want to see from me. Like if you've ever had a thought of, oh, she should make this punch needle kit, or I would love her to share this in her content. Any ideas you have for me, please feel free to share. Obviously, it's one thing to generate my own ideas, but I want to be creating content. You hear it time and time again, but it's so true. I want to create content you want to watch, obviously balanced with what I want to put out as well, but I'm very open to your ideas and what you're wanting to see and what you enjoy watching, whether it be on social media like Instagram or YouTube. But talking about like feeling like you're going through a slow period or the ebbs and flows of a business, I feel like I feel that a lot with social media. I oftentimes feel more stagnant on social media than in my business as a whole. Like I won't necessarily feel like my business is stagnant, but I feel like it's presenting that way on social media because I don't know what to post or I haven't posted in a while. And honestly, I just kind of let that pass because I know that in the next week or so, I'll have more ideas and I'll be posting more content. So sometimes I'm posting a ton on social media. Other times I'm like going a little while between posts. And the reasoning for that is literally because I don't know what to post. It's not because I'm like forgetting that I need to be posting. I'm just like, I don't know what to post and I don't want to put out content that I think is rushed or like, I don't know, I don't like care about it. So I'm just like putting out content to put content out. There's definitely been times though where it's a little more like rushed, I guess, than sitting down and like spending 2 hours on a post, which the posts that have a lot of graphics on them, like from Canva, and just like a lot more work put into them, and I'm talking like carousel posts, those do take like an hour or two sometimes. But I'm also like taking my time and enjoying the process because I like the design process of that. But yeah, it's making me think about a post I just put out, which was a day in the life of a small business owner. It was a carousel. And I love how it turned out and I want to make more of those. So yeah, experiment with your content because you're going to find like what you enjoy posting as well. But yeah, I might have to stop here. This is taking me a little longer than I thought, maybe because I was stopping while I was working. I didn't even get 2 coasters done. I was talking to Mia about I was like, girl, I don't know how you did wholesale with your coasters. She used to do wholesale for Punch Needle. I think she said she would pump out like 100 coasters a week sometimes. I think my hand would have fallen off, genuinely. And she was using a tougher fabric than I use, so I think her hand actually was probably gonna almost fall off. That's crazy. We can talk about that a little bit, like wholesaling items. For me, I am very picky about what I want to wholesale. It's not just based off of customer demand, because I've had a lot of people ask if I wholesale my punch needle kits. This is something else I was talking about with Mia because I was like, first of all, I don't even know how I would do that because I can't ship 100 or 30 punch needle kits. Like, that's insane. She's like, yeah, you would have to ship like the supplies and they would have to put it together. And that would, I think, then also decrease the price I could sell them at because now my customer has to do like labor and assemble the kits. Never say never. Like, maybe one day I would wholesale them, but I just don't think I could really profit off of doing that because it's still like a hand assembled / handmade product. The cost of goods are much higher than my keychains and magnets that I get manufactured. So I currently only wholesale my keychains and magnets because I have enough of a profit margin where I can sell them for half off to retailers. Whereas like I just simply cannot justify selling my punch needle goods half off because I think the price that they're already priced at is like the lowest I would charge for my work. So I don't think every product should be wholesaled. I think sometimes you might hear like, oh, wholesale has been great. It's like an avenue you should look at with your business, but I don't think it's for every business, in my opinion. But with that being said, there are people who wholesale punch needle and wholesale handmade goods, and it's obviously up to you as the creator if you want to do that. For me though, I just haven't been able to fully understand how that's possible to make like a justifiable profit off of your product still for all the work you put in. But yeah, wholesale has been great. I mean, this year it's really picked up and it's like an exciting new avenue, I feel like, for the business in terms of like getting into bigger stores and more stores and just having my keychains all around. Like, it's so cool knowing that the little dogs and cats are in stores across the country. Crazy. Okay, I just have to add the seeds to this berry and then do the same with this coaster and then the ladybug, and then I'll be done. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here because I feel like it's long enough. But yeah, let me know if you liked this video. Sorry there was no studio vlog if you hated this video and you wanted a studio vlog instead. But the next video will be the market prep and market day vlog. So excited. And yeah, obviously the prep is underway for that already. But if you enjoy this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.